Hello, my name is Nikema Prophet. I'm here with Gift. I will let Gift give his full name because I don't want to butcher it. But we're here to record the Our Voices podcast where we talk with people in the tech community about anything. It could be life stuff, it could be tech stuff, it could be what you're working on, what you're hoping for, the world you would like to see. It could be anything. But we're here today with Gift. And Gift, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Gift Ojeabulu. I'm currently from Lagos, Nigeria. So I currently work with the iterative AI developer advocate and developer experience team, and I'm the co-founder and community lead for Data Community Africa. Yeah, I also do other voluntary stuff like organizing MLOps community and technical documentation lead for Slick Wrangler Python library. Yeah, so and I do a lot of like content creation from social media to newsletter. I'm also the founder of the African Data Community newsletter. Yeah, so that's me in summary.
Very cool. So, we're going to talk about how you approach community building in the African data ecosystem. I have a question before you get into it. Maybe it'll transition well, but how did you get into developer relations, DevRel, and what do you enjoy about it? Because I am in my first DevRel role. I love it. So I'm interested to hear about how other people approach it.
Yeah, that's nice. So first of all, like my career line has been in developer relations line, but the fact is I never knew. So see what I meant. So I graduated from school. That was 2019. That was like December 2019. But within that process, I was working in partnership. I and a friend with a company called Data Science Nigeria, now Data Science Network. So what we do basically is we train people on Python, data science, machine learning, so that they can get to like come to the boot camp and get qualified for the boot camp. At that point, what we use was Kaggle. Yeah, so Kaggle is like a platform for competitions, for data science competitions. Yeah, so teaching the process and all, I didn't know that what I was doing was organizing community and advocating for students now in the ML, in the data science and machine learning space. So that was how it started generally. So after that, like I did some COVID started and I got like some like a remote job as for a tech startup called Quantum Analytics here. So I taught Python, machine learning, data science for a while. Then within the process, I got like a job, an intern, later transferred as a junior data scientist job for CBB Analytics here, company in California. Yeah, as a data scientist. So CBB Analytics is focused on basketball, data science, and machine learning. So what we basically do is we make predictions and do visualization in the basketball pitch here. So that was what I did with CBB. Within that process, I started noting that my work with CBB is coming to an end soon, plus the layoff and everything, and the contracts here. So what I started doing is I just within that process, I was always tweeting on social media because I noticed in the African space, as at that time, a lot of people don't do they don't tweet stuff, maybe do stuff on Twitter, put out their work out there. Everybody is reserved in their space. It's not an African thing. So I noticed is a lifestyle of Indians that I do follow. Yeah, that they put their work out there, they make tweet on Twitter, they make threads,
Mm-hmm.
they post on LinkedIn. Yeah. So I looked at it that okay, I think I can be among the first set of like Nigerians in the AI and ML space to also do this. Yeah. So I started Twitter Spaces here, started organizing and bringing people to come talk about data science, machine learning. From there, I started making thread about from the little I know about data science, data analysis, machine learning, Python, open source. So within the process of doing that, I noted like some people because of my consistency, which is also it's also boost my followers on link on Twitter. Yeah, because of my consistency, like some people started joining me. Yeah, they started joining me, and I feel like okay, since some people are joining me, what I would need to do now is to start a newsletter. An idea came. So I started the African Data Community newsletter, which is currently almost 2K, which currently have almost 2,000 subscribers. I started last year. So that was
Nice.
yeah. So that was how I started it. And what is the mission of this is to bring the voice of Africans out in the AI/ML space. So I noticed there are some African actually doing threads and posting their stuff, but they don't get engagement. So what I'll do is to look for them on Twitter, look for the work they've done, from their tweets to their videos to their articles. Then I'll put everything in this newsletter. That was how I started. Yeah,
Nice.
so putting everything. So the goal of this newsletter was to like advocate for Africans in the AI and ML space. Yeah, so and to encourage collaboration and to make people adopt content creation and to build the community, the AI and ML community. So within that process, within that process, not long I applied for a talk for a tech conference in Nigeria called Open Source Africa. It's a bit popular. Yeah, Open Source Community Africa. Yeah, so I submitted my talk as at that time on DVC and DAGZOP. They accepted. I was among the few they accepted my talk in the AI and ML space. Yeah, so after that conference, I was a bit pissed. See what I mean? I was a bit pissed because I feel like a lot of AI and ML people were not in that conference. So I would say the percentage is like maybe like 3% out of 100, or let me say even 2% out of 100 because we are not much at all. So I thought about it that okay, uh, I went to Twitter and I wrote something and I said one day there will be a conference like this in the data space, from data science, machine learning, AI, data analysis, and so on, where we invite like other data practitioners in the field, and then we will have a conference around it, just like this particular conference, this Oscar Africa. Yeah, so and that was how like a friend, because we've discussed about it before. That was how a friend from Microsoft saw it and he tweeted about it and tagged me that we should start. And we just started that okay, we'll be starting holding a conference by November that same year.
Oh, cool.
Exactly. So yeah, November that same year called Data Fest. Yeah, Data Festival. Yeah, so that was how we tweeted and tagged people, and from there I started a Twitter account. I opened a Twitter account, which is 1 year now. I think it's currently on 70K followers here. So I started the Twitter account because I kind of understand how this thing worked here. Because I have best friends around. I started a Twitter account, open a LinkedIn account because we are more of data practitioners and like data scientists. We are not really software engineers. So a lot of people in the team we brought together, they did not really understand the software engineering side of doing things. So I kind of understand that part because when I was in school, I was doing web development and Android side. Yeah, so working with a friend called Robert. Yeah, so we set up a basic website for Data First Africa. Yeah, so which will be revamping soon by other team. So that was how I was handling it with Robert, the basic website. Then that was how Data First Africa started. We started tweeting about it. People started following us because it's just like what people I've always wanted, right? From there, from there, that's how we built. A lot of people saying they want to sponsor Data First Africa. We got from Microsoft, we got from i3TVI, we got from DBT, we got from like a lot of acronyms. Yeah, so we got from like different people, even in the Nigerian space. That was how Data first started, and we changed the name later to Data Community Africa. And we're building this second conference. We also did an hackathon that the same year. We did an hackathon. So after that, after Data First Africa, doing a lot and stuff like that, I also felt the need that I still want to build the machine learning community on its own as a niche. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so so from there I pushed forth with some collaboration, and we held a meetup called MLOps Lagos, like which is the first MLOps community in Africa, hoping to extend to that part of Africa. Yeah, so that's why we had a meetup like 2 months after Data First MLOps Lagos. Yes, so that was how it extended, and the machine learning and data science community just started. Yeah, so that's how I started my journey actually.
Wow, that's a lot. So it sounds like you're very you're focused in on the machine learning, data science. How did you find yourself getting into that part of tech?
Yeah, so how I found myself is like when I was in school, like I said, I studied computer science. It wasn't intentional, it was as a result of I was having result issues in school and they just have to like place me in that department. That's the only option I had. So I made a friend called Rising, and Rising like was like is into the computer science department. So from there, as a computer science student, I started learning web development, doing web development for some time. I was enjoying it. Later, I moved to Android. I was just trying different in Android development. So doing Android development for some time, and my friend Rising reached out to me that he attended a boot camp where they talked about machine learning and AI for data science Nigeria. So when we be coming the next semester, the next session, that he would like us to like he would like me to like learn these things. So we try to like build a community in our school so we can take our school to that boot camp because no one know our school like knows our school for things like that. They are not so popular there. It's not among the big school. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, okay, I'll take that process. Then I started learning Python and like putting my head like into data science and all. Yeah, so that was how when we came back for final year, that was 400 level in computer science. We started like trying to like put people and teach people. So Rising was teaching people at first. Then I noticed in the process that the women or the female are not really catching up. Then I volunteered to like start teaching the women separately because they were a bit behind. Yeah, so that was how I was like teaching the women because that like if you check the trend of my career, it's more of I've always been the person like trying to advocate for underrepresented group here in all like in different settings. Yeah. So the women, I just feel like that was how we tried to teach them. Then like they got qualified for the boot camp and we got into AI boot camp. Yeah. So that was how I started my like my journey in data science and ML space. Yeah.
So compared to like software engineering, would you say that it was like Python that really got you into the data science side of things, or were you just exploring and just found something that you liked?
Yeah, okay. I would say before one advantage I had though, yeah, I used to hear about like machine learning, AI, just random big things and all. So I was actually fascinated by all those things, but I don't really understand how it works. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so like me, I noticed based on research that Python is like the one of the core language to get into the data science ML space because it's like English language is a bit simple, right? You get so you can like try and learn Python because ML seems to be complex with a lot of things. Trying to use Java for ML is crazy. You have a lot of like long lines of code and all. Yeah, so that's how I started learning Python because I have experience with Java, like program language like Java, PHP, C Sharp, and so on. Yeah, JavaScript before like Python was a bit easier. So that was what got me into like the data science, machine learning space, supervised learning. Yeah, so unsupervised. So
Cool, cool. So, do you want to talk more about your community building activities? Or actually, I guess like splitting that question, how much of what you do is for your job and like how much of what you do like in the community is outside of your job?
yeah, okay. So the thing is, at the point I was doing community to the extent that a lot of people think I was jobless, right? See what I mean? Because I barely like talk about things for my job. That was before I got into DevRel. I was working
Mm-hmm.
as a data scientist, like I said, at CBB. I barely like talk about or talk as if I know about like sports data science, except in few cases. Yeah, so I'm always like talking about machine learning, still like deep machine learning, still and tweeting about things relating to the community and trying to tweet simpler things because I notice there are a lot of beginners in this space, and
Mm-hmm.
if they don't understand what we are trying to like do, uh, they won't be able to relate with it, right? So intentionally, I started like trying to speak their language. I'll put it as at that time I was doing like 40% work and 60% community. As at that time, you get I was doing like a lot of that, but now it has transitioned because I knew about DevRel through actually I knew about DevRel through this company, Iterative AI. How did I miss them? So I was browsing on, I think, remote.io, and I saw a role, developer advocate at Iterative AI. So I saw the requirements that, okay, have experience with newsletter, have experience with community, like blogging and like giving talks. I saw it and I was like, I think this is something I really enjoy doing, right? I just feel like, but when I saw it, I didn't apply because I just felt like, no, I didn't meet up to like all these requirements. I just didn't apply. So later, one of like the senior developer advocates as at that time, yeah, so reached out to me on LinkedIn with that for that same job, particularly. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's the funny. It's like 1 week after I saw it, and I just feel like, I know I can't, I'm not up for this job. So she reached out to me and she feel like she was like my profile suits for a developer advocate role. And there's nothing like developer advocate that time on my profile. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it suits for a developer advocate role. And from looking at my profile, she feel like it's something I'll be able to like go into and something that suits my profile more and all. Yeah, so I was like, okay, thanks. So within the process of that, like I applied and all, but that was 2021. I was not really familiar with like doing like international interview process, the way things work, because jobs that like I've gotten before then have been more through like I've been through referral. So I'm not like familiar. I'm more of the technical person that time
Mm-hmm.
that don't really know how to communicate. That was the issue I was having. So I used to have the issue because I was actually good in coding. So I used to have the issue like I don't know how to communicate and just like bring up my idea. Like at this point, I'm not still very extremely good, but at least I'm better compared to before. Yeah, so I don't know how to like communicate and all. So when they ask me some questions in the interview, I know them, but I find it out communicating. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, it seems it's made it look like I'm not so confident of myself. It made it look like this is not the right person to hire, and they were skeptical whether they should tell me yes or no, trying to watch me. They saw that I was doing like the proper advocacy job, but they were skeptical, so they told me that okay, for now what they are looking for is not like my qualities and all. So the fun fact, let me now say the fun fact is where I got the idea for the African Data Community newsletter was actually for my Iterative AI. See what I mean? Yeah. So I checked their newsletter and I noticed that their community manager mentioned something that when she started this newsletter, she didn't know that there will be a lot of content in the future later. That now there are even some content that she do skip and she won't include weekly or monthly in that particular newsletter. Like it just keep growing with time. Like a lot of people tend to start advocating about DVC, CML, iterative tools and all. Then I thought about it that okay, what if I start building my career from this space as much as I also do social media? What if I start a newsletter that is also in the AI ML space that now is advocating for Africa, like to the Africans to like do more in the AI ML space. That I think this is a nice idea. It are two ways it will help me build a community. That number two, it will also help me have experience behind like newsletter, like
Mm-hmm.
a newsletter and all, which is part of like um one of the things, one of the few things developer advocates do, depending on the company that layer. So that's part of the few things. Yeah, so I just feel like okay, let me just start this, and that was how I started to talk to my friend, and my friend was like, "This is a very good idea. That I should start it. I'll see like a lot of people like will be interested in it." So that was how I started it, and I noticed because I was doing a lot of things, I was not so consistent, but I noticed people keep subscribing to the newsletter even without me promoting. That was the fun fact. That anytime I post, like maybe if I post only one of like the issues, that's one of send one newsletter out, I can see like up to 400 or 500 people just subscribe at once. I'll be wondering that okay, it seems people really like and see this as a way of solving problems. So within the process, I started getting like partnership with like companies from like Red Labs, there's Zindi, and like other companies start like reaching out to me that okay, so I should help them promote this also on the newsletter. So that was how it started actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. expect to talk about DevRel today, but that's
Wow.
really interesting. And it sounds like you're really well suited for the role, like for the work that you do. Let's see. I don't really have follow up questions based on what we talked about. Did you have anything else you wanted to speak about, or did you have any questions for me for the rest of our time?
Okay, yeah. Basically, like I'll just like I appreciate all the work you've been doing in community, like from the Twitter space. Like I'll actually say when I was looking for a role, like your space is one of the space that I just join and I listen to. I'll just be like, okay, since they came out, like talk today and let me just hear our talk and I'll just be there listening because when like I'm the kind of person that if I just see any Twitter space or any like channel relating to DevRel, I just subscribe. I just tend to listen. Yeah, I'll just be there. Even though I'm doing another thing, I'll be multitasking and be listening and like bookmark it for the next. So I'm always listening to like every space, every that was how Ramon knew me, right? Ramon one day, yeah, on the like he tweeted something about I think he do and do is a course for the DevRel. I've forgotten one DevRel I've forgotten the name. Yeah, he's a co-host for that platform. So he posted one day that who is ready to be a co-host for this particular session, and immediately I saw that tweet. Then I texted. You guess I texted him on Twitter, and it was like I was among like the first three persons that texted. So because of he saw the way I was passionate about it, and like anytime he like tried to like provide the space to talk. I'm always available. Even when I'm busy, I'm always trying to find time and all. Then he decided to pick me that okay, we'll be hosting this session. And that was how I and Ramon like became friends and all. And he knew me in that space too. He has like been guiding me like in my DevRel path and all. Yeah. So that was how we became friends. Yeah.
Are there any other Twitter spaces that you want to shout out that have been helpful? Yeah, just helpful for like community building or just being in tech in general.
Yeah, I'll say for Twitter Spaces, and I'll say another person I'll mention is Black Girl Bite Rizel. I don't know if you know Rizel. I
She's
think you know
awesome.
Rizel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
that
Yeah,
much.
yeah. So Rizel is amazing. When I was looking for like roles generally, I do reach out to Rizel. I'll reach out to Rizel that okay, like what does she think? I've listened to her space, I've listened to this, that what does she think? How can I improve on this? So she'll tell me that okay, this is what she think because she was a junior developer advocate then. So this is what like she thinks and all. So she started noticing that I'm always active and all. Then she followed me. And Riza is someone that's passionate about black people and underrepresented group in general. Yeah. So she started noticing like there was a speech she attended and she heard like one of like the head of DevRel for Nvidia in Africa like mentioned my name that there's one guy in the AI ML space I'm always looking forward to. That's his name is Gift and mentioned my name. So she was among the speakers. So she was excited that I know the guy that is always in my DM and all. She told
Uh,
me, yeah. So she told me that I should go listen to this that space that they mentioned my name in like in it that space. That it was even two people at that point. So I was excited that wow, that people is seeing what I'm doing here. So I personally appreciate Rizzo. Yeah.
yeah, I definitely look up to Rizelle, and I know that recently she announced that she's not a junior anymore, that she's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
developer advocate. So I think that's super
yeah,
cool. I
yeah,
really admire that team. There's a lot of cool people on that team
yeah.
at GitHub. Yeah, so shout out to Rizal, shout out to Ramon. I don't know, I'm still getting used to this podcast thing and it has been interesting so far. I would like to see, no offense to present company, but I would like to see more women. I don't think I have had a talk with a woman yet. And this is my, which one? I think this is, we did Michael, Toby, Captain EO. So this is the fourth one. And we haven't had a woman yet. So I'm going to have to like start sliding into DMs saying
Yeah.
we need women's voices too.
Yeah, I think I can help with that. And
Yeah,
also, like,
definitely, please, if you can.
yeah, I know some Nigerians like that. Like, I know some outside Nigerians. I know my friend Jenny Figurido. I think she'll be interested, and like,
Hmm.
she's the community manager, like the community lead for Iterative AI. So I feel like she has been in DevRel space now, like for let me say up to three years, like professionally. Yeah, so I think she'll be, and she's kind of knowledgeable about the space in terms of community DevRel, AI, machine learning. Yeah, so she's kind of knowledgeable. Yeah, so I think I'll talk to her if she's chance so that she can, yeah, join the space.
That would be awesome. And yeah, it has been great talking to you. I think I'm going to go ahead. We set aside an hour, which I feel maybe I would need to adjust that. An hour feels like
Too long.
maybe too long. Yeah, because I don't know. I am just getting started with YouTube and things like that. I haven't uploaded anything. I think when you first start out, you can't upload like long videos on a new
Yeah,
account.
that's true. Yeah.
So I might have to start breaking some things up. But I think an hour is a good time to have if we need it. But I think it's also we've had a good conversation with this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Do you have any final words or any final things that you would like to share with the community?
Yeah, definitely. I would say, no matter where you are, maybe like any country, any space, maybe even if you are underrepresented or you are the black or white or in general, if you are passionate about DevRel, it starts with you, right? You don't have to wait for to get a job at a company to
Mm-hmm.
like to be into DevRel. It starts with you. Just be passionate and try to like help people, have empathy, be available, just help people when people are asking questions. If it's something you know, I feel to me, I feel like that's the soul of community building, right? Which is what they do at Stack Overflow. Yeah, so answering questions and like asking questions. Yeah, so randomly it happens on Twitter. People ask questions on Twitter. People ask questions on LinkedIn. So just be helpful to people. Yes, and if you're helpful to people in the long run, like it will help your career a lot because you don't know who you'll be so helpful to that maybe in the long run there'll be a role and this person will just be like, oh, this person has been amazing and all that. And it's not all about the art skill. The soft skill is actually very important. Soft skill, you should pay attention as you grow in your career. A lot of people forget the soft skill and focus more on the hard skill. But I feel like forget the yeah. So focus more on the soft skill. Forget the soft skills. Yeah. So I feel like the soft skill actually distinct you in the things you do. Yeah. So that's my last year.
Definitely. So I wanted to double back a little bit. So that job that you saw and then you kind of like brushed it off and then someone reached out to you. Was that the same job that you ended up taking? Like
Yeah,
that's
like yeah, that's
that's
the job.
amazing.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show
But
that's like one
yeah,
of those what's for you won't miss you type of things.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Because it's fun. It's funny because that's like after like because they hired some people and I don't know they felt like it's not like really the right person and all, and some of them like they got another job and they also needed me to support and like to do other things and they feel like I'm the best person because what happened particularly was I got another role with another company and I reached out to one like the community manager, which is my friend, that is this how the payment is? Like is this the salary range in like this particular role? So she was like, oh, she thinks that particular role, the salary range is a bit low and all that they can offer better, and they feel like, and it's a competing tool, right? That they feel like I should like come and all that they will like give me a space to hire me, and they see that I'm doing well and all. That was how it got hired. Yeah.
Wow. And so at that point, you were still working on your soft skills, your communication skills, but it was enough. So I think that's a really encouraging story. And it sounds like you came a long way from where you started to where you are today. So thank you. Thank you for coming and sharing that with the podcast with me. And I am going to go ahead and let's end this. So this has been episode, I'm not going to try to count. I'm going to say 4, but that might be wrong. This has been our latest episode of the Our Voices podcast, and we have been speaking with Gift. So I will share all of your information so that people can catch up with you on Twitter in the show notes, and that's it for today. But yeah, thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the end of this episode. It's time to shout out our sponsors. And it's actually sponsor, singular, but no worries. We're really happy, really excited, really grateful for our very first sponsor, Level Up Financial Planning. There's our shout out. To see all sponsors and maybe become one yourself, check out the website, ourvoicespodcast.blog/sponsors. Thanks again.